forever because I'd never sleep again.
That's your body just telling you that something's off.
Yeah.
If you're on edge like that, you know,
And he was a great friend. We actually ended up going back to being friends and
I always,
much healthier, but
yeah. I always tell people that like if you're not eating, not sleeping, right? So our bodies can kind of go through this little time frame where we kind of experience that. But if it's really severe like that, that is your body absolutely telling you no. And if you have the butterflies, especially if you have struggled with relationships and not been able to actually have a healthy relationship, and you're trying to learn and turn that around, that means you have to do something that you've never done before. And if you have the butterflies, you need to turn around and run away as fast as you can, because that's actually your body telling you no. Because when you are with someone that actually you feel safe with, you do not experience the butterflies. You experience safety. You experience that ability or that desire and want to rest and sleep. I have a funny little story about that. Can I share real quick? My wife and I, my current wife, when we, the very first time that we, spent the night together, of course, sleep is the last thing you really necessarily think that you're going to be doing on, on that occasion, uh, and we did, we slept for about 18 hours. The most deep sleep either one of us had ever had in our lives. And it was the wildest thing that it was almost like we couldn't wake up. But it really was that sense of just complete, utter safety, no fear at all, just utter safety. And we joke about it still to this day, because if there's one thing that we can do together and we do together well, it is rest and restore, um, and heal, even just simply by sleeping. So, thanks for letting me share.
think, you know, you brought up a really valid point though. And I never really thought about that when it came to the butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I never really get like the butterflies when Matt and I kiss, but I do get that euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
That, does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yet with my ex, it was always that like butterfly in your stomach that a lot of people think is all, is a good thing. Yeah, exactly, Cara.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thank you for that because I never really thought about it. The ones that I've always felt more comfortable with and everything, it wasn't a matter of a butterfly. This is a new thing. It was just a, a content euphoria. Like the first time I got a good night's rest, even while I was still off and off with my abuser before I finally had enough, was at Matt's house and honestly sleeping next to him. I felt safe and content. And I just knocked out.
Yeah.
Like I actually had the first like good night's rest that I hadn't had in over 3 years,
Yeah.
you know? So this is my summit and I'm learning. Cool.
That's awesome,
But
right?
but that's the whole thing is that's the whole thing about this is it's about learning new things, new ways to heal, broadening our mind, getting the awareness out that there is life after.
What I love about summits really is that it's kind of like a buffet for
Mhm.
everybody. The coaches, like it's a buffet, all you can eat, all you want to trade, all you want to be able to share. And I love summits for that.
Real
Yes,
quick, yes,
Bethany.
Bethany, go ahead. Mhm.
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but it's funny. I keep hearing you know, butterflies is a bad thing. And I had never considered that my whole life, because you read the romance books and that's all it is, right? Oh, the butterflies.
Yeah.
Until I was reading maybe a month ago, this book where this character was talking to an old Russian woman. She said, "Do you feel butterflies in your stomach?" And this side character said, "Oh yeah." And she goes, "Well, then run the other way." And I was like, huh? Because that's your body telling you this is a bad idea. You need to run the other way. What
Oh,
you
I love
should
it.
feel when you meet him is calm and safe and secure. And I was like, huh, that's a cool thought. And then ever since then, I've been getting that. So I'm like, interesting
Confirmation
timing,
bias.
universe.
Yeah.
Really quick, I I do hope that you guys connect with Zara Shishno more on LinkedIn. She has a really interesting program that she does. It's her kid's birthday. She's listening through her headphones. She can't really talk right now. But she would do poems about domestic abuse to break it down in not such a harsh way,
Mhm.
you know? And I thought it was so fun. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, love. I'm not, I promise. Yeah, it is Saturday. She's in the UK and it's her kid's 21st birthday. But her poems are amazing. They're just like short to the point and sweet, but it's coming at it from a different way to help people, because you lose so many clients when you're just harsh. You're talking about it like that. So she came up with this system and it's so amazing and I love it. And that's why I talk to her about it all the time because I want to publish them.
Mhm.
I want to publish her poems because it brings awareness to domestic abuse in such a way that it's not as harsh. It still talks about the harshness, but it gets you to open a little bit. Does that make sense to you guys? I know I'm not explaining it the best, my beautiful sister, but I did the best I could. I just wanted to give you the shout out. I know it's your baby's birthday and everything, but I had to give you the shout out for your work that you do over in the UK in this. You know, okay. If you guys check the chat, she says that she writes rhymes about the tactics and cycle of abuse to soften the blow
Yeah.
at knowing that we are abused, because a lot of people, like Sharon is going to be sharing today, actually, how she didn't even realize she was being financially abused and everything
Right.
until later. You know, a lot of, especially with mental abuse, whether it's men or women, you don't realize that you're in that cycle of abuse. And her work is amazing. And that's why I had to give you the shout out. I love you, Zara. She is always looking out for me and everything. So thank you so much.
Um, uh, that reminded me of something I wanted to touch on earlier with Yvette and Gabe. Um, and I wanted to touch on the definition of abuse because even in it caught my attention because she said, well, I'm not even sure really that it's abuse. And we do that. And that part of that is that we can fall in that trap, right? Of, well, somebody else has had it so much worse. So I don't want to call it abuse because what I went through doesn't equal that. But really at its core, it simply means misuse. It is misuse of power. It is misuse that causes distress and suffering. It is misuse of communication to not listen to the other person when they're saying that they're experiencing this, right? It's the misuse of of things like finances, right? It's misuse, simply means misuse. And the only one that can say, I am being misused is you. And if you say, I am being misused, then you are. And it is, by definition, abuse, right? So it really does get to be that individual of an experience, and no is a whole sentence. No matter what it is that you're using or talking about, it is a whole sentence. And anyone that cannot sit in your no and steps over the bounds of that no in any way is misusing that no and is misusing their power to step over into yours, and it's abuse. So I just wanted to touch on that really fast because I caught that earlier. So thank you for that that reminder.
So real quick, I shared with Matt that I had read you guys the sleepy one, and he goes, and I told him everyone loved it, and he goes, you would use that as
Girl too.
but okay, most of the people that are in here know about me and Matt. Cara, I think you're actually one of the few that I haven't really talked to about my other half and everything. But and Fiona, but Jen Lynn, Beth Hurt, Sharon, they've all like seen him pop in on lives, things like that. We joke and tease with each other all the time. If we're not, Sharon has asked me, is something wrong with you and Matt? When we're not playing, and he's at work right now. So this is his way of making sure that I stay relaxed by sending me little things like that because he knows I get nervous and whatnot. So just had to put that out there that he was like, yeah, you would use that as an excuse, huh? Give everybody that little laughter. And on that note, I am going to welcome the beautiful Cara to start her very amazing presentation. The floor is yours, beautiful.
Thank you, Crystal. This is so amazing. You and Jinlin have done such an incredible job holding the space, allowing people the time to integrate the information that they are getting and have those aha moments and then like sit with it for a second because this is heavy stuff. This is like big, heavy stuff. Yeah, I love that. I'm excited. I'm excited to go down this. What we are going to do is we're going to talk a little about the Phoenix effect as far as that term goes, and then I'm going to apply the Cara method. So what I do, I'm Cara Jean, hi, of taking care of business because I think I'm hilarious. And I am a leadership coach. I'm an executive coach and I help people with leadership. The fun thing about leadership is it's that place between the life coach and a business coach. Like your business coach is going to ask you about your metrics and what are the key indicators and your KPIs and how are you tracking and measuring. And your life coach is going to be like, cool, how you feel? Like, how's your spirit? Are you spending time on your mountains and not just in your buckets? And I'm in the middle going, did you know you can have it all? And also, you're a whole human being. And if we don't take care of that, we can't lead anybody anywhere. So we got to start with leading ourselves, which I think we have covered a lot today. And I'm just going to double down on all of that. I do encourage you to grab a pen and notebook because I'm going to take you through an activity after we do a little chatting. Okay. So, like the Phoenix, rising from the ashes, every challenge, every setback is a chance for a transformation. We know that in the Phoenix rising, we know that in just waking up every day, right? We've all faced moments that have knocked us down. In those moments, when we feel the most defeated, that is when we have the greatest opportunity for growth. One of my favorite quotes is a seed grows in the dark. Grapes are crushed to make wine. Diamonds form under pressure, and olives are pressed to make oil. So if you are feeling in the dark, crushed, under pressure, and pressed, you're probably in transformation. You're welcome. You're doing it right. Yeah, like that. So today I want to take you through how we can rise from those ashes. I want to give you some really simple steps to start reprogramming and retraining and rewiring your brain to make this easier for you. So we're going to go from aligning your values into leading with purpose, even through those times of crisis. Okay? One of my quotes that I'm heard to say a lot is, in the face of life's fire, we can choose to be consumed or transformed. That's why when Crystal said, I'm doing this Phoenix thing, it was like, say less. Yes, I would love to support that. Yes. So we're going to embrace the Cara method, and we're going to rise from those ashes of adversity and lead with renewed purpose with this method, right? So I'll come to the Cara method in just a second. But first, we want to talk about the Phoenix effect, right? How challenges and setbacks and opportunities come for transformation from those places. So think of the Phoenix. It doesn't just survive the fire. It is transformed through it, consumed, destroyed, reborn. I think we've already seen that that is a common thread in this room. So our challenges, whether they are personal or professional or traumatic or dramatic, offer that same opportunity. These fires are not here to destroy us. They are here to refine us. Our last choice says less about us than our next choice. And while the traumas in our life are part of that human tax, they shape us. They don't define us. And it's through that that we refine. Each of our struggles is an invitation to rise stronger and more aligned with who we really are, if we're willing to do the work. And I get that it's so simple to say these pretty words. And most of life really is that simple. The hard part comes in the doing it and then doing it again. And then when you are like, oh, I processed this already, doing it again with a smile on your face, maybe a little clench this time, but we're doing it again. So that's where the Cara method comes in. It's a practical 4-step process to handling struggle while it is happening. So we clarify, we assess, we realign, and that's how we achieve. So it's built for moments like this. These steps are so that we can take transformation and struggle and then grow. So first we clarify, what is the challenge? Where does the struggle come from? And what is it revealing to you? Right? We already talked just a second ago about the butterflies in your stomach. Is that telling you, oh, I'm so happy and in love? Or, oh, this is very uncomfortable. We should be aware of this. Know yourself, figure that out. And I will challenge the status quo here because I'm spicy myself, and my neurospicy says sometimes what is true for one person won't be true for you. So those butterflies may be a sign of like excitement and engagement, but be aware of where you're feeling it. Are you feeling it down in your core? Are you feeling it in your chest? Those little differences will make a huge impact. So really get clear on your experience of the situation. And then assess, what are your values? What's important to you in this situation? And what has gotten you through those things before? Your strength. You have already tangibly survived 100% of your worst days and thrived 100% of your best days. You've done that, which means you have skills, you have talents, you have strengths, you have resilience, you have tools to use. So let's assess those. Think about that and reprogram your brain when that problem comes up to say, okay, what do I need and what can I do about it? Because you can. And then you realign. You realign around your purpose and what's important for you. And I really stress the you. I know it has come up several times, but I really want to stress this. In a world where so much is out of control, if you are feeling overwhelmed and out of control, jack back your energy from all the rest of the things we put it in and focus on your 3 things: the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you behave. Turns out you're a whole universe, and that's more than enough. So focus on what you can control in your universe and let the rest be weather. Okay. And that's how we achieve with that intention. It isn't just surviving. Choosing this path is choosing to thrive and recognizing that it's not easy. It's simple, not easy. And that knowledge is powerful, but retention is required for transformation. And you have to have repetition for that retention. Okay, so let's talk about leading through a crisis. I have a fantastic tool. I'm not going to dive deep into it, but I am going to give you the shape of it. And it's called what I call the P3. So it's the People's Pyramid of Priorities. And it's how you schedule out overwhelm by aligning your actions with your purpose, right? So as leaders, whether it's in business, in community, or for yourself, which again, whole universe, more than enough. The most important thing we can do is lead by example. So the P3, the People's Pyramid of Priorities, teaches you how to manage the Pareto's 80-20 principle. Now, if you have not heard of Pareto's 80-20 principle, Google it, you're welcome. Essentially, it is the idea that if you plant 100 plants, 80 of those plants will only produce 20% of the fruit, but 20% of those plants will produce 80% of the fruit. When you apply that at a human level, what that looks like is 80% of our world is that mental weight. Like I call it the work, right? The weekly overload of responsibility and knowledge, the work of life. And that's that 80% weight. And while we might not look like we are doing a lot as we are handling the hot mess that is happening here, when we do that work, then when we do the 20% exterior work, the mechanical stuff, that's what delivers that 80%, because I handled this hot mess before I addressed that hot mess and didn't use my BS as gasoline on the train wreck, dumpster fire, avalanche already happening in front of us, which we have all experienced too many times in our life. So we manage the 80% of the mental energy that overwhelms us and focus it back on that 20% of action to get those results, right? We learn to schedule out the overwhelm and align our actions with our purpose. We give ourselves, our teams, our families, our life, the clarity to succeed by doing that. And it's a mental shift, but it really is just a little mental shift. One thing that I learned in diving into behavioral genetics with a geneticist for the last couple of years was that trying to unlearn a habit and relearn a habit takes a ridiculous amount of time. Like the amount of time it took you to learn it, it takes twice that long to unlearn it. And then you have to relearn it all over. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry, I am an adult in the year 2024 and I like instant gratification, please and thank you. How can I have this faster? Come to find out, it's micro shifts. So rather than unlearning the entire thing, recognize that whatever those habits, whether they are serving you or not, at this point came from a place that was trying to serve you. So then just shift it a little bit and a little bit, and suddenly you're heading down a whole different path. And you don't have to take all of that time. So the tiny shift here is leverage the power of those mindset shifts to create those ripples of positive impact and change. Transformation begins with that small shift. Instead of focusing on the struggle, like this is what sucks, this is what's irritating me, I'm frustrated, rather than focusing on the struggle, we shift and we focus on what is it trying to teach me? Why is my brain, body, and existence hallucinating this situation? And what is it trying to teach me? If everything here is working for my better best, what better best is coming from this? And sometimes I do ask that without just sats. Me and the universe have that recognition. Each moment of pain or crisis is asking, how can I use this to grow? That tiny shift creates this ripple of powerful, positive change in your brain. And I understand that it's easy to say, harder to do. And in hearing that everything is out there working for me can feel so raw when so much of what happens to us is not great. It's not. And I put you all in this room. And I'm going to say, that's pretty great. That's my BS. That's my belief system. So we want to empower others with it. That's what you are here literally doing tangibly today by sharing this space and holding these thoughts. We rise from those personal challenges and we guide others through their own Phoenix moments. This whole summit is about that. As we rise, we guide others to do the same. We empower them by showing them how to harness their own Phoenix moment and then turn that pain into progress and the struggles into strength. Yes, together we are stronger. So have an activity. This is the Cara method activity. If you have paper and pen, I do suggest you grab that, or, you know, just if you're tech savvy and do the notes thing on your phone, that will be great. So we're going to identify a personal or professional struggle, and we're going to reframe that as an opportunity for growth using the Cara method framework, right? We're going to clarify, we're going to assess, we're going to realign, and we're going to achieve. So step one, we're going to clarify. Take a moment. We already did that breath work, right? So lean into that. One of my favorites is just a really simple set yourself up for success one as you breathe in, and as you breathe in, you think light as a feather. And then you hold strong as the wind. And then you release twice as much. So you release light as a feather, strong as the wind. And set yourself up for a grounded space of strength and light. So take a moment, reflect on a recent struggle you faced. Is it a personal, professional, life-related, leadership-related, relationship-related? Clarify what are the core issues. What's really challenging you? A great way to do this is simply write down something about it that's pissing you off. Like the thing that it just sucks. Go ahead and acknowledge and write that down. The thing that's stupid. For fun and recreation, that same thing that is irritating you in this struggle, if you can flip the script and turn it into a single positive word, that's one of your core values. You're welcome. Okay, so now let's assess. Step two. Let's assess the challenge as if it were a fire, right? So this horrible thing is happening. Ask yourself, what is it burning away? Is it a fear? Is it self-doubt? Is it overwhelm? Is it people pleasing? Is it a limiting belief or a habit that is begging to be released? Writing down that struggle and encourage to let go of it. And let in the writing, release it. It's now on paper. It's no longer part of you. That's so 5 seconds ago, you. We've moved on from that. We're already a whole new human being. Come on. Yeah. Quantum change. Okay. Then ask, what is it revealing? What is the fire revealing in terms of strengths, of lessons? Is it resilience? Is it patience? Is it adaptability? Patience. Ooh, my husband used to say all the time, you're going to have to work on patience. I said, I don't have to ask for that because the universe does not give you patience. The universe does give you opportunities to learn it. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm so good. Thanks. But what is it? What is it that you need to realign your priorities around? This is your Phoenix moment. Every one of those is your opportunity, this aspect of yourself that is transforming. Okay, now let's realign. The of it. Like, this is the thing about life, right? Like, it's never just one and done. I love the whole concept around the one and done idea. But even right now, you're breathing and sitting and watching and writing and thinking. So let's realign. Let's this up. Write down one action specifically around the way you think, the way you speak, or the way that you're behaving for you, no one else, for you. One action you can take this week to realign your values and rise from that struggle. It could be having a crucial conversation. They call them difficult. I call them crucial because turns out if you don't have the conversation, you end up having it later. And now you just have to do it 4 times because you let it fester. Versus just getting it out of the way. It's uncomfortable, but might as well just do that, right? It could be that you need to adjust your mindset. Maybe schedule in some more self-care. Are you scheduled so much of your life that 20% is actually more like the 80% and you're just sneaking in the corners of your own life? That's what we call work-life balance. If you want to balance your work with your life, you got to give up a lot of life to make it balance with work, because that's like trying to balance grains of sand against an entire beach. Maybe some more self-care. Ooh, self-care, just as a side note, because this is important BS for me, my beliefs around that. if getting a massage, getting your hair done, if that is the thing for you, love that. But a reframe, what can you do to maintain your meat suit? Do you need to brush yourself, wash yourself, pet yourself? What do you need to do to manage your hormone soup? Do you need to practice smiling? Do you need some quietness? Do you need a giggle attack? Those are my favorite. You know, when you laugh so hard, the snot strip. It's so good. Third, what about your stardust? You are literally made of the exact same things as the stars. You are so connected. Even in our loneliness, we are connected. So how are you experiencing that? How are you allowing yourself to be connected? And then last, what about your mush management? This genius idiot in our brain who loves a dynamic challenge and to fall back into old habits. If we don't train that beast, it's just going to run away with us, right? When we talk about self-care, that's what I mean. So this is your first step towards that realignment. And that's where you get to achieve, right? The last step is having something, a tangible, actionable thing you can do and do again and do again. So go do that. Growth is by staying committed to that action, remembering that each action is part of a larger transformation and that taking that small but integral step will allow you to rise from those ashes. And then before we go into questions and answers, I would just end with this activity is just the beginning. So the Cara method is part of the thing that I have ongoing. If you want to access more of that People's Pyramid, on Mondays at noon Pacific Standard Time in the Cara method or the Cara Corner Facebook group, we run through a weekly review, which goes over that because it's so simple. It's so simple to just say, they just flew right out of my face hole into your face ears. Terrible language. And even though it's so simple to say, it's that repetition, it's that doing it every week and practicing that removing of judgment, that assessing the situation and choosing what you're going to do about it. Not what you should do, not what you're told to do, not what you're expected to do, but what will you actually do that will make you happy. So as we wrap up, make sure I covered all of the things. Yes. Okay, hold on to this truth. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to rise, just like the phoenix. The whole point to the day. You and you alone have the power to turn every one of those challenges into your greatest strength. The Cara method is one way of doing that. There are a bajillion and 12, and the odds are you probably already have some of those exact same steps alive and within you because you made it through to today. So recognizing that those tools are already within you. Now it's time to take that first step towards your transformation. If this resonates with you, let's keep going. I know that I put something into the VIP gifts, probably one of my clarity sessions, but come join the complimentary Facebook group. I do 2 events every week and will never charge for the stuff that is in that space because we need to have these conversations. Because we need to talk about this. We need to share the messiness of it and help each other find those other paths forward. And I posted earlier, but I'm going to do it real quick again, that I happened, like I mentioned, been working with this geneticist for the last year and partnered with a bunch of coaches, and we're coming up with a genetic edge coaching, the genetic harmony, where we're going to deep dive into genetic behavior. And this is what that is. This idea that absolutely you were born with a particular nature and you survived not only your own traumas, but the traumas of your mother and of your grandmother, because you were literally alive inside them. And that impacts your genetic makeup. And you have power over that in real time. Your choices, the electrical firing that happens in your brain impacts what hormones go out into your hormone soup. And the pulsing of your iron through your body creates this magnetic energy that can activate and deactivate parts of your DNA so that you print stronger proteins around care and love and empathy and joy. It can also go the other direction, but we're going to intentfully choose to feed the things that serve us. Questions, comments, controversy, what that come up for you as we went through that?
Such good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Crystal. What came up for me was just wow.
I mean, Zara even came like on camera for a second and blew you a big old kiss.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It just yeah, that's pretty much all I've got right now is just wow. I'm gonna let Jen take over on the let's be articulate.
No, it was amazing.
Thank
You
you.
have incredible energy and you know, you're so much fun to be around. I've been waiting all day for you to take the stage. And actually it's funny because I sent you a request, by the way. Please accept.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. But it's doing it now.
Which I sent it probably several days ago because I was trying to kind of like tag everybody in the posts and stuff as we were going along. But I also already have an invitation for you. So what I love about it is that we live in a day and age where I call it, you know, like it's the speed of love, right? And really it's beyond the speed of love, it's the speed of compassion. And it's faster than the speed of light, it's faster than the EM equals, you know, E equals MC squared, because that 10th of a second that we oscillate between matter and energy is that moment that we really truly have access to in every single moment. We have the ability to say, nope, this moment I'm taking and I'm going to do whatever it is that I'm going to do with it. And we can do that with our intention. And we have April, which will be joining us tomorrow. She talks about putting your attention to your intention, right? So that you're carrying it through and you're carrying it out. And it's really super powerful. And about, I don't know how long you've been doing what you've been, you know, this, how long you've been on this road, but I've been on this particular road about 7 years now, especially with the genetics and the biochemistry and our